Hi there, my name is Lemon, and Sonic and EXEs have always been an interest of mine, so taking inspiration from creators like Duncachi, I hope I'm saying that right, I thought I should try and throw my own hat in the ring. But instead of covering popular EXEs like your Miss Crimson, your Lord Exes, or hell, even this guy, I want to cover a lot more lesser known EXEs, most of which are found from the Sonic Oddities Wiki, you know that, where tons of lesser known characters are shown. So, how about we get into that, with the first character that piqued my interest personally, and was suggested to me by a friend, Overdrive. Overdrive is a character created by Echo on Twitter, originally just being Jet the Hawk with Fleetway eyes, boring, but eventually getting a bit more of a snazzy, unique design that I feel fits his lore a lot better. Speaking of his lore, we should probably get into that. See, Overdrive's lore starts back in the original Sonic Riders, where everything happens as it usually does up to the final race in Sand Ruins, where the bomb that usually causes Sonic to lose the race just doesn't go off, being in dirt instead, meaning Sonic gets the Chaos Emeralds and gives Eggman his usual beating. However, on the sidelines, something else is brewing. The Babylon Rogues aren't the most pleased that their plans got sent back tenfold, seeing how they were never able to get their precious garden back up in the sky. Now, months later after the Grand Prix, Jet is still hanging on to this grudge, causing him to act out in the name of getting faster. And one day, he finds the yellow Chaos Emerald, taking it from the good Dr. Eggman on through unconventional means. And this is where the story really turns. Jet starts obsessing over the emerald, it quickly driving him insane. And when he returns to the blimp with all the other Babylon Rogues, he forces Wave to modify his gear with the Chaos Emerald, or if not, should be kicked off the team. And with this new upgrade to his gear, he basically instantly starts abusing its power, his eyes developing spirals and becoming bloodshot from the radiation from the emerald. Eventually, he's able to get his hands on Tails and uses it to coax Sogga into a race, basically forcing him to do it or else he'd kill Tails. However, due to his heavily modified gear, and Sonic being unprepared for the race, the sonic boom that Jet creates at the beginning of the race ends up blowing Sonic's leg off. And as Jet returns to the starting line after completing a lap in record speeds, he just laughs and gloats at Sonic, as Sonic can't even fight back. Tails begs him to help, but uncaring for what he did, he just rides off, leaving Tails to deal with his mess, threatening that he'd kill him too, if Tails got in his way. Trying to figure out what he can do to even one-up that, beating the fastest thing alive. He keeps on riding as fast as he can until he travels dimensions, finding himself with a new Sonic to overthrow, to show who the fastest thing truly is, across every dimension he can. Now we have the main story explained for Overdrive, I feel like we should go into some little tidbits about his character, such as his prolonged contact with the Chaos Energy actually making his body start to mutate, giving him his large white wings on his design. And he's also able to use Chaos Control now, however it causes his body heavy pain when doing so. On another note, he's not able to stand it when others claim to be the fastest in their respective universe. In fact, if said to him, he'll be driven into a racing craze until he's able to prove who the fastest truly is. It just makes me wonder if his craze for racing will one day lead to his death. My thoughts on the character is pretty simple. Overdrive to me is a nice and easy to swallow EXE that, although has its problems, has a nice foundation that definitely stands on its own. My only real problems being with it are the lack of the explanation of why the bomb is a dud, unlike the original Sonic Riders, and how quickly Jet fell into insanity. I feel like personally, it should have been built up a bit more, but I still enjoy it. Overdrive's design, I think, is the best thing about him, in my opinion. The jacket and the blood and dirt covered wings, he really has something standing out about him across the crowd of all the other EXEs that just have red shot eyes and blood trickling down. It makes him stand out. That is unlike his old design, which literally was just Jet the Hawk with Fleetways red eyes. His new design's way better. Yeah. Some tiny little extra things about him is that he's also in a short little comic by the creator, which features another EXE, Tulpa, by Rooney, also on Twitter. The comic is rather simple and just shows Overdrive getting along with Tulpa with their shared hatred of a certain blue hedgehog. And that brings this overview of Overdrive to a close. A bird driven to insanity due to the fact that he couldn't realise his own goals. If you liked the video, consider dropping a like or even suggesting another EXE for me to cover next. And remember, I hope you all have a nice day.